Preview.
And now for the explanation. This is actually done with even and odd letters that are spelled in the values. 10 has an odd number of letters, 3 has an odd number of letters, 2 has an odd number of letters, and of course 9, 4, and 5 have an even number, 4 letters in their name. These are in alternating order. Now, it doesn't matter what card is on top. By spelling or moving an even number to an even number, you will end up with an even number of letters on top. If you start with an odd, if you move 3, 1, 2, 3, you are still going to end up with an even number on top. So that means we can eliminate any card that has an odd number of letters. For example, 2 and 3. So if you spell F-O-U-R, it has to be an even number on top. So since the 2 and 3 have odd number of letters, they cannot be on top, so you ask to move the 2 and the 3. And if you move 3, 1, 2, 3, this is an odd, but since it's face down, to keep it an odd, you move 2 more. And it will stay the same number of letters. So that means I can eliminate any cards that have an even number of letters. In this case, the 4 and the 5. Again, by moving 3, 1, 2, 3, you're changing, but since there's a face down, you move 2 more, because that keeps it the same, and 2 more. And since there's an even number on top of letters, then the 10 is turned face down, which leaves the 9 on top with an opposite colored back.
Preview.
And now we have a list of cards. We have the Queen of Clubs, we have the 5 of Spades, the 10 of Diamonds, the 7 of Clubs, the King of Diamonds, the 3 of Clubs, the Ace of Spades, the Jack of Clubs, the 4 of Spades, and the 8 of Diamonds. And let me mix these up just a little bit. And now, would you take those, Jean, please,
okay,
and turn the first card face up on the mat, please, and put the next card underneath, face down. Now take off 2 cards off the face and turn them
up.
Turn them up. 2 cards. And put 2 cards underneath.
Okay.
Now take off 3 cards and put them face up. And put 3 cards underneath. And now take off 4 cards and put face up.
Put them up.
Which leaves 1 card, which is what?
You want me to tell you?
Yes, please.
9 of Hearts.
Wait a minute. The 9 of Hearts is not on the list.
Oh.
And that's because the 9 of Hearts is in disguise.
Oh.
Because if we move these in like this, we now have
Oh, 9 of Hearts.
of Hearts.
Oh, cool. Nice. Very good.
Very nice.
Very good.
Preview.
And now, to find out how that was done, we have the cards, and these can be taken out of any deck. So we have the Queen of Clubs, all of these cards, plus on the bottom face down is the 9 of Hearts. So these are turned over as you mentioned the cards. And by the time these are named and turned over, when the 8 of Diamonds is finally turned over, they assume that all the cards have been seen. And now the 9 is on top. This is now shuffled to the bottom, and you mix up some more, leaving the 9 on the bottom, and then you cut 2 cards to the top, and the dirty work is done. So the first card is turned face up, 1 goes under, 2 turn face up, 2 go under, 3 are turned face up, 3 go under, and then the last 4, and of course that matches all of these cards, leaving you with 1 card, and you act surprised. Oh, well, the 9 was in disguise, and if you fold it in like this, you can see that we do have the 9 of hearts.
Preview. Preview.
And now for a real mystery. We have 10 cards, and they are in order. Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I'm going to have someone, both of you in fact, move some cards from the top to the bottom. For example, if we move 3 cards from the top to the bottom, I'm going to tell you that you move 3 cards. And now, Jean, I'm going to turn my back and move, and quietly move as many cards as you can from the top to the bottom.
Okay.
Okay, and I would take the cards, and I have a feeling that you moved 5 cards.
I did.
Am I correct?
I did, yes.
And now, Pat, would you move some cards from the top to the bottom? Do it quietly. Maybe move them all at one time so I can't hear anything.
Okay.
Okay? Okay? And Pat, I think you moved 5 cards also.
Oh,
I did.
wow, yes.
did.
Right again.
And let's do it one more time. And would you, I'll turn this way,
Move some cards.
move some cards from the top to the bottom.
Okay.
Okay. And let's see. I think, Jean, that you moved 5 cards also.
Right.
Preview. Preview.
Hi. This uses the numbers ace through 10 in order, and I've put a 10 in with a different colored back. And the idea is to keep your mind on where the 10 was the time before. For example, I start by moving 3 cards from the top to the bottom. Of course, 10 was on the bottom, so we moved 3 cards. Now, I know that the 10 is the 4th card up. So no matter how many cards are moved, you turn over the 4th card up. So if they move 4 cards, the top to bottom, doesn't matter. The 10 was the 4th card, so that will tell you how many cards were moved. At that point, you have to think to yourself, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the 10 is now the 3rd card down. So the next time the cards are moved, doesn't matter how many, turn over the 3rd card from the top and it will match. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the top to the bottom. And so we turn over the 3rd card down and that will match the number. And then at that point, if this is a 6, 7, 8, 9, the 10 will be the 4th one from the bottom, so that will be the card that you turn the next time.
Preview. Preview.
And now I have made some predictions, and I'm going to force you to move a certain way. I need to get a coin out of my pocket. I have some cards. We are going to place a coin on one of these cards, and I have directions already predetermined on how you are going to move. So Step number one, the moves. As you can see, all moves are right, left, and over. No diagonals. You can move back and forth, up and down, and you can go back and forth on the same cards if we want. Directions, number one. Gene, it says to place the coin on any card, and then we're going to spell the value of this. So move any way you want to, AC and spell ACE. Up or down.
A-C-E.
That's fine. It says you are not on the 7 or the queen.
Okay.
So we will turn the 7 and the queen over. Now we can count on these cards, but we cannot end up on the cards.
Okay.
So it says to move. Pat, would you move 3 spaces, please?
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
That's good. And it says you are not on the 4 or the king. Turn them over. 4 and the king. And then would you move 5 spaces, Jean?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. And it says you are not on the 10 or the ace. Turn them over. And Pat, would you move 5 spaces, please?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And it says you are not on the 9 or the jack. You are on the 3.
You are on the 3. Very nice. Yes.
I like it.
Yeah.
Do you feel violated?
Very
Okay,
good.
cool.
That's good.
Preview. Preview.
And now for the explanation. This is very much like number 1. It uses an even and odd. The number 2 position, number 4 position, number 6 position, and number 8 position all are spelled with an even number of letters, and the others are spelled with an odd number of letters. So we use the even and odd. Place, we explain the moves, and we are going to put this on any one, and if you spell N-I-N-E, you're going to end up on an even number, which means that one of these can be eliminated. And in the next case here, we did that, and I'm getting one ahead again. You are not on the 7 or the queen, so the 7 and the queen can be turned over. Move 3 spaces. And if you move 3, you're going to move from an even number of letters to an odd number of letters. 1, 2, and 3. So now we can eliminate any of those that we wish. And it says you are not on the 4 or the king, so we will turn those over and move 5 spaces. By moving an odd number of spaces, you're going to end up on one of the even. So these are the only 2 that you can end up on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It says you are not on the 10 or the ace, so we can turn those over. And now move 5 spaces. So this is an even number. This is an even number of letters in 9 and jack. This is odd. So by moving 5 spaces, you have to end up on the 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4. The only possibility is to end up on the 3, and that's what it says. You are not on the 9 or the jack. You are on the 3.
Preview. Preview.
And now I want to show you something that is strange. We have the ace through king fairly mixed up. And Pat, would you cut the cards one time, please? and complete the cut. Slide the top card off. Cut the cards one more time and complete the cut. Look at your card, remember it, put it on top, and cut the cards. And Jean, would you cut the cards one time, please?
Sure.
Thank you. And now we'll look through here. And I believe the selected card was the 8 of spades, is that correct?
That is correct.
Good job, nice, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's it.
I like it. All right.
Preview. Preview.
And now, the explanation of a real quick one. This is just a setup order, and there are many of these in the magic world, but this isn't, cards are set up in alphabetical order. So we have the A for ace, E for 8, there are 2 F's, it's F-I and F-O for 5 and 4, then J-K for the jack and king, N for 9, Q for queen. We have 2 S's, S-E and S-I, and then we have 3 T's, T-E, T-H, and T-W. So these cards are in that order. The cards are cut so that it's impossible to know what the top card is. The top card is slid off, and the cards are cut again, so when this is put back on top, the card is out of order. And no matter how many times it is cut, so you're going through looking, there's S-I, there's F, which doesn't belong between the 2 S's, so the card that was selected, which we didn't look at, would have been the 5 of clubs.
Preview. Preview.
And now for a little mystery. I have a group of cards. Jean, would you remove any 5 cards and place them right here? Any 5.
any
You can look at them if you want. Doesn't matter. As long as I don't see them. Okay, that's fine.
There's the deck.
And mix them a little bit.
I can look at them. Huh?
You can look at them, but we'll mix them face down, please.
Okay.
That's fine. Now, remove 1 card, show the, and look at it, and put it back anywhere you want to. Remember the card. Put it back anywhere you want. Okay. And now I'm going to mix them up. A little bit like that. And would you shuffle the cards again, please?
Okay.
Mix
Look
them
at
up.
them or not?
No, don't look at them. Just spread them right here. Now, we have 5 cards. There's no way I would have any idea what the 5 cards were. And there's no way I would know which one of these is your
Correct.
card. Don't say anything.
Okay.
Your card was a red card. Don't say anything. Your card was a diamond. Don't say anything. Your card was a high diamond. Don't say anything. Your card was the jack of diamonds.
Correct. You got me?
Very good. I like that.
Very nice, yes. I like that.
Preview. Preview.
And now for the explanation. Hate to say this, but you cheated a little bit. This is actually uses a false shuffle that many magicians aren't aware of, and many are, of course. Any 5 cards can be selected. Let's say that the person looks at this card, which I haven't seen yet, and notice where they put it back in. In this case, it's in the center. By putting the 2nd card on top, the 3rd on the bottom, then the top and the bottom, if you do that 3 times, the card is back in its original position. So it is now back in the middle, and then as an afterthought, I just cut the top 2 to the top, so I know that the card's on the bottom, and when I hand it to him, I just glance at the bottom card, which is the 9 of spades, And what is nice about this, after they shuffle them, you can honestly say that you have no idea what the 5 cards were, and you don't. And then you say, don't say anything. Your card was a, in this case, black card. Don't say anything. Your card was a spade. Don't say anything. Your card was a middle spade. Your card, don't say anything. Your card was the 9 of spades.
Preview. Preview.
And now a trick with some money. I have 14 coins here, some pennies and quarters, which should show up very nice here. Jean, I'm going to turn my back, and I want you to put 9 of these coins here and the other coins right there.
Any 9.
Any 9. That is correct. Put 9 coins in A and the other 5 in B.
Okay.
And I can tell, Jean, by the sound, the way you put the coins down, that there's 2 more quarters in A than pennies in B. 2 more quarters in A than pennies in B. How many quarters are there in A? I don't want to turn around.
You want me to tell you?
Yes.
6.
6. Are there 4 pennies?
Yes.
Now I want you to take any 3 coins from A and put in B. Put any 3 coins in A and move them to B. Oh, and she's
Okay.
done more quiet this time, so I can't tell by the sound. Now there should be 1 more penny in B than quarters in A. Should be 1 more penny in B than quarters in A.
Yes, there are.
Yep.
Pennies 3/4. Nice.
Okay.
Preview. Preview.
And now a very simple mathematical coin trick. We have 7 pennies and we have 7 quarters, and the magic number is 7. If you had 10 of each, then the magic number would be 10. So when 9 coins are put in A, 6, 7, and the others in B, you are 2 over the middle number of 7. So you could say one of 2 things. You could say there are 2 more quarters in A than are pennies in B, or you could have said there's 2 more pennies in A than quarters in B. So we have 5 quarters and 3 pennies. Or we have 4 pennies and 2 quarters. So either saying, you don't use both, but either saying is possible. Now when I move 3 coins from A to B, now I'm keeping track of 7, so now I'm 1 over in B than what I am in A. So you can say one of 2 things again. You can either say there's 1 more quarter than pennies, or there's 4, 5, and 4. Or you could have said there's 1 more penny than quarters, which would be 3 and 2. So it's just a matter of keeping track of the middle number.